So what is missing from Vietnam? Vietnam is one of our favorite places in the world. We miss Vietnam whenever we're gone. And don't worry, I will not be talking trash about Vietnam in this video. But there are some things missing here that you need to be aware of before making a final decision about where to retire overseas. We just got back to Vietnam after spending 6 months touring around Latin America. And we found some serious benefits in Latin America that are not available in Vietnam. In fact, they are not available anywhere in Southeast Asia. Not in Vietnam, not in Thailand, not in Malaysia, not in Cambodia, and not in the Philippines. But the truth is, I would pick many parts of Southeast Asia over Latin America, even though these things are missing. How important are these 6 things to you? Let me give you an example. Your 23-year-old daughter brings home her new 30-year-old boyfriend who wants to marry her. She met him 2 months ago. They ride up on your front lawn on his Harley-Davidson chopper. He has a beautiful, expensive motorcycle, lots of muscles, and some great hair. As a parent, you probably start thinking, I hope he has a car so my daughter isn't killed or crippled on the back of that motorcycle. Next thing you think, okay, my daughter makes good money in her job, but will she be carrying the whole load for this family? Does this guy have a job? Maybe he is a bad boy, but does he also own a successful business or have a great job? Your daughter has never fallen in love with anyone so fast before. Is this guy just great in bed or something? You start to worry, is my daughter thinking enough about her long-term future? Is love at first sight going to ruin your daughter's life? So you start asking questions. So I have a question for you. Is retiring in paradise overseas at all like love at first sight? Will your dream last after the honeymoon is over? When you arrive in paradise, the white sand beaches, turquoise water, and the palm trees gently swaying in the breeze will be your downfall? So make sure to think long-term for yourself like you would for your daughter. Is anything missing from paradise? What is missing from paradise for me is not necessarily the same for you. This is an individual question, but here is what I noticed. After discussing 6 things missing in Southeast Asia, I'll discover 7 things missing in Latin America. Then I'll explain why I would still pick Southeast Asia, but Latin America could be right for you. Okay, 6 things missing in Southeast Asia and Vietnam. Permanent residency. Southeast Asia doesn't offer permanent residency. You have to requalify for a visa periodically every year or every few months. As soon as you can no longer requalify for your visa extensions or renewing them, you have to leave. There is nothing permanent about residency in Southeast Asia. They can change the laws whenever they want because they're just retirement visas or work visas. And in some countries in Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, you have to extend or requalify for your visa every 3 months. And there's no guarantee the laws won't change in any of these countries in Southeast Asia. Most countries in Latin America offer permanent residency that does not end every year or every few years. It is permanent. Many start with a temporary residency, but once you get a permanent residency, it stays permanent unless you commit a serious crime. Okay, citizenship. Southeast Asia almost never offers foreigners citizenship. There are a few exceptions, but it's so rare that I'm not even going to spend time talking about it. But you can become a naturalized citizen in most of the Americas. Once you are a naturalized citizen of a country, you have 99% of the rights of a person born in that country. Passport. Very few foreigners have ever been given citizenship or a passport in Southeast Asia. Someone will mention a handful of people who've been given citizenship or a passport in Southeast Asia down in the comments, but it's practically impossible. Most countries in Latin America have a path to citizenship that includes a passport. It can take anywhere from like a year to 8 years to obtain citizenship and a passport in Latin America, but many people get theirs every single year. Okay, renunciation. Since you cannot get citizenship or a passport in Southeast Asia, you cannot practically renounce your citizenship in your home country. People who want to renounce, give up their citizenship in their home country to avoid paying taxes must obtain citizenship and a passport in a country outside Southeast Asia before they can renounce. If you renounce your home country passport before having a second passport, you will be a stateless person without a country, which you should never do. Okay, land ownership. In general, with very few exceptions, you cannot own land in your own name in Southeast Asia. In several Southeast Asian countries, you can own condos in your own name and up to a 30-year lease in other countries, but you generally cannot own a house and the land under it in Southeast Asia. Malaysia is one exception. A foreigner in Malaysia can purchase a single-family home on land provided they comply with specific state regulations, a minimum price threshold like around $250,000 US, and obtain written consent from the proper state authority in advance. Cambodia has some exceptions that sound too risky to me, so I'll stay away from that topic. Okay, cool highlands. With very few exceptions, Southeast Asia has very few choices for people who prefer cooler weather or less humidity. There are a few beautiful exceptions in Southeast Asia, such as Baguio in the Philippines, Dalat in Vietnam, and the Cameron Highlands in Malaysia. But unless you live within a few hours of these places, you're going to be stuck in the heat and humidity for 6 months of the year while living in Southeast Asia. But Latin America has hundreds of the most interesting cities in the world located at high elevations where the average temperatures year-round stay in the mid-70s, or for Celsius, like 21 to 24 Celsius. Latin America has high mountain ranges running from Mexico all the way down through Central America, all the way down to Chile and Argentina. These beautiful mountain cities were developed during the colonial era period before air conditioning was invented. So they have some of the most beautiful and historical cities in Latin America and some of the best hospitals, restaurants, infrastructure, and reasonable cost of living. Okay, 8 things missing from Latin America. Okay, cheap food. We didn't see the $1 to $3 local meals in Latin America that we see in the local family-owned restaurants in Vietnam, Thailand, and Cambodia. The cheapest food we found anywhere in South America was in Brazil, where we saw lunch buffets for as little as $4, and in Bolivia, where we saw $3 US meals in family-owned local restaurants. Okay, low cost of living. We didn't see many places in Latin America where a strict budget couple living more like locals in smaller towns can live on less than $1,200 per month. In most of the places we saw in Latin America, middle-range expats would need like $1,500 to $3,000 a month. The only low-cost living we have seen over the last year in Latin America seemed limited to Paraguay, Bolivia, and Colombia, where a few tight-budget expats I interviewed shared living costs in small towns from about $500 to $1,000 per month. But in those cases, they had paid cash for their homes on land, so they had no rent to pay. Whereas in Southeast Asia, we've interviewed several expats that share living costs of around $1,000 to $1,200 per month, a few even less, which includes paying some rent. So the lowest cost of living numbers seem to be missing from Latin America when compared to Southeast Asia. Okay, cheap, easy, slow travel. Okay, cheap, easy, slow travel between countries seems to be missing from Latin America. Latin America covers such a large area that airfares between countries can be extremely expensive. In Latin America, we often ended up paying $300 to $500 per person for one-way flights when we moved from one country to the next while we were in Latin America. We didn't see the $75 to $150 one-way tickets per person in Latin America like we do when we're slow traveling around Southeast Asia. But bus transportation in Latin America was cheaper than their flights. When traveling from one city to the next within a single country in Latin America, we often found reasonable bus transfers. But when you fly from country to country in Latin America, you'll pay through the nose. And the problem is that the land masses are so large that the buses between countries can take 24 hours. So you'll be tempted to fly to avoid these long bus rides. Okay, economic stability. Economic stability is missing from Latin America. Over the last 50 years, Southeast Asian countries have been significantly more economically stable and more consistent in their growth than South American or Latin American countries. Both regions have faced challenges, but Southeast Asia has experienced more robust and consistent growth and has experienced less inflation. Multiple countries in South America have experienced decades of trouble, including hyperinflation and extreme currency devaluation. Okay, English speaking. Other than the famous tourist sites, English speakers seem to be less prevalent in Latin America than in Southeast Asia. Because the languages are different in each country in Southeast Asia, they often teach English as a common language in schools in Southeast Asia. So you'll hear more English in Southeast Asia than you will in Latin America. Okay, expat acceptance. In general, Western tourists living in Latin America seem to experience less immediate acceptance by locals than in Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, as a physically obvious Western man, I feel like the locals treat me better in Southeast Asia than they treat each other. I call this reverse prejudice, where a minority like me feels like I'm being treated better in a country than the citizens of that country treat each other. There are many exceptions to this observation, but overall, it seems to be real in Southeast Asia. Okay, age difference relationships. There are exceptions, but in general, Latin America does not seem as accepting of age difference relationships as I see in Southeast Asia. You see them here and there in Latin America, but not as much as you see in Southeast Asia. There are some exceptions. You don't see many age difference relationships in Malaysia. Also, I've been told they happen in Vietnam, not as much out in the open in public. So Vietnamese women keep their age difference relationships more of a secret to avoid public criticism. And that's just my observation and what I've been told. But you'll see them most often in Thailand and the Philippines, where age difference relationships seems very accepted by their cultures. Okay, karma. There is not much karma belief in Latin America, and you wouldn't expect there to be. Latin America believes more in asking your spiritual elders for forgiveness when you harm another or commit a crime. Saying prayers and repenting on Sunday absolves your soul of wrongdoing done that week. In much of Southeast Asia, they believe you cannot simply ask for forgiveness to erase bad karma. Karma is a strict cause and effect principle in which harmful actions are balanced out by intentional positive actions over time. So people in Southeast Asia seem to believe that how they treat each other really matters. So treating others poorly in Southeast Asia is believed to stay inside you like a negative spiritual balance. So people here seem to believe that how you treat others really matters, and it seems to be reflected in how they live their daily lives. Okay, before I explain why I would still pick Southeast Asia, I want to share something important with you. I've helped 2,160 people learn the challenges and the pros and cons of retiring overseas. I have over 300 reports detailing the best places in 36 countries to retire overseas. My feet have been on the ground in each place. I have spent a few $100,000 of my own money visiting each place, so I can speak to you from a place of personal experience and authority and show you with video what each place looks like and how they're different. I also have a 7-week course and an 8-week course. The 7-week course is how to retire overseas, and the 8-week course is how to make money online. At the end of this video, I'll give you a video you can watch explaining all the benefits of joining, plus how to get 50% off our one-time payment for a lifetime membership. Okay, why I would prefer Southeast Asia. I'm 65 years old and I love slow traveling the world. I've been living outside the US for 19 years and I've been slow traveling for 16 of those years. Slow travel means I spend anywhere from like a month to 5 months in each country. While in each country, I typically explore 3 to 4 cities, then I move on to explore the next adjacent country. Southeast Asia is my favorite place to slow travel because several of my favorite countries are all near each other, so I don't have to take a bunch of expensive, long-range international flights. By staying in each country for a limited amount of time each year, I'm less likely to be asked to pay income tax in any second country. Since leaving the US, I continue to file my US taxes every year, but I love to travel and see new places, and by not establishing residence anywhere and never staying long enough to be deemed a tax residence in any second country, I only file and pay in the US. If I were to decide to settle down and quit slow traveling, I would also pick Southeast Asia. I have no desire to establish a second citizenship or get a second passport, so the benefit in Latin America is not a motivation for me. Chung and I prefer the feeling of living in Southeast Asia, and we love the food, so this is where we are happy. But we still like to visit Latin America and Eastern Europe, even Western Europe, every few years. The world is an amazing place. But if you prefer Latin American food, lifestyle, and weather, and prefer to settle down, buy a house on land, obtain a second citizenship and passport, Latin America would be a better choice for you. Okay, if you'd like to learn the costs and benefits of our lifetime membership, watch this video over here. If you'd like to watch a video about the free and paid resources we have to help you retire overseas, watch this video over here.